alongside General Manager Tom Fitzgerald. I'm Amanda Stein, and we're getting ready for the NHL Draft, which kicks off tomorrow night. How have you been feeling? I mean, leading up to this point, that number 2, how have you been?
Good. It comes with the territory. There's a lot of, a lot of thoughts, a lot of areas, different places you can go with it. If the right phone call rings, or the right phone gets picked up, maybe you're trying to improve your team now, but long term, and so there are all kinds of options. At the end of the day, you make the pick knowing that you're adding to what you've already started building, with really a strong prospect pool. So it's a really exciting time for the organization. Whether, like you said, whether you're moving back, you're keeping the pick, you trade, it doesn't matter. We're going to be adding something and continue to build through the pillars that we have.
Not every draft has a Connor McDavid, a Nathan MacKinnon at the head of it, where it's almost a clear-cut situation. This year doesn't really have that. There's so much speculation who's going to go 1, which means someone will be available to you at 2, but you're not really sure who. How does that maybe complicate things, or is an exciting thing for you guys as a staff and for your scouting staff?
Well, it's part of the business, and unpredictable situations is what we're used to, and things can change, on a dime, whether it's one injury and you're trying to do something, and but we're going to be prepared for all the situations, and it'll come down to most likely something on the floor. But at the end of the day, if you make the pick, you're picking a prospect that's going to add value to your organization.
I think one of the things we also forget leading up to the draft, because the first round is so exciting, is that there is a whole other day, so many more picks to be made. What have your scouting staff been like? And I know you like to see your scouts really get up there and go to bat for a player. What have those meetings been like here in Montreal as you've been leading up to tomorrow?
Well, I could tell you they're working hard. They're putting time and effort and really challenging one another on players, especially in the mid to late rounds. Find me another Jesper Bratt, guys. So yeah, you're right. You want to find those gems, but we do our due diligence. We have a template on what we're looking for and why, and just go find them. But be passionate about the players that you put on the list.
What do you think those few minutes will be like in between pick 1 and pick 2? I just saw your face completely change, but those seem like really high pressure moments.
Yeah, like I said, I probably anticipate my phone ringing with last ditch efforts to maybe move up.
Yeah.
Again, that's the luxury of being 2. You can potentially add some assets to the cupboard or use down the road. Or at the end of the day, we know we're going to pick a really good player that's going to add value to the organization.
So the draft is coming, but there's also a lot of other work that's going on behind the scenes. You have some players who are looking for their contracts for next season. So if we can kind of shift over into that direction, one of the players that everyone is very curious about, you're smiling because you know who I'm going to ask about, is Jesper Bratt. So I'm wondering how those conversations are going and where are you sort of moving towards with him in your negotiations?
Well, I think the first thing is us explaining to his team how important Jesper is to our organization. And where does he fit? Well, he fits into a group that we want to continue to build around. He had an excellent year. We feel there's more to that to come. So long term, like we're committed, want to be committed to Jesper Bratt long term. So that's where it started. We felt a bona fide offer with a lot of thought put behind it, with some details to it, to explain, why certain things are like this. But without a doubt, we want Jesper here long term.
Obviously, there's plenty of cap space there to work with, but not only do you have to consider those numbers of your RFAs, but you have free agency coming up. So how does that kind of play into a lot of the things that you're doing?
Well, again, I think it's obvious when you can look and say, they have X amount of dollars cap space. Well, you know what? We're slowly going to continue to build up towards the cap. Our own players that we've developed are going to turn, like a Jesper, like a Zacha, like a Wood, who are RFAs. Prices don't seem to go down, Amanda. They just seem to go up. They start chewing away at the cap. But we're we're cognizant of that. We understand what the cap is, and just going to the cap doesn't make you a better team. It's finding the right pieces that can fit in and understand what we're trying to build here.
Are you expecting to qualify? Are all your RFAs?
Yeah. They're all good players.
And how about Miles Wood? Obviously, it was a up and down sort of scenario for him last year. Shut things down closer to the end there. How is he doing, and what do you sort of see in terms of where he can get to before the season starts?
Well, he had a major surgery.
Yeah.
We saw that coming back. It takes some time because it wasn't the hip. It just, how does that affect everything else, the mechanics of the way the human body works. Miles is in a good place. He's working hard. He's back in Boston. He's a guy that, again, I want to continue to talk to his agent about extending. He missed the whole year.
Yeah.
So, and we missed him in the locker room. We really did. So, our goal is to extend him and have him here longer than 1 year.
How is your assistant coaching search going?
It's going well. We've talked to a lot of strong candidates. We've got characteristics of what we're looking for, i.e. the defense coach, someone who has coached younger defensemen, because we've got some kids coming. And we're not old. We've got some kids that maybe will come up from Utica. Maybe they'll make our team. I think that's really important for the hire. Someone who understands actually what phase we're at and where we want to go. And then up front, looking for somebody who can, run the power play and have experience with it and success. That's something that I also believe our younger players will dictate, with their continued growth and development and understanding of the league. That's going to pay big dividends too with our power play.
Today you made a monumental move in hiring Kate Madigan as your assistant general manager. A first opportunity for you to address that other than just your statement that you made. I've known Kate since she's been here. We kind of came in together, so it's been amazing to watch her grow into this role. What has she meant to you, and what will she mean to this organization going forward? Well,
she means the world to me. I don't believe I'd have any success if she wasn't, right by my side, helping me out with a lot of areas that I'm not strong at, that she's extremely strong at, that I think we're a really good team. She touches everything in a hockey operations department, and I mean everything, like scouting, budgets, the team, the locker room, managing partners. Again, I can go on and on and on. That's how big of a role she's playing for us. This was a natural progression. I wanted to do it at a certain time, like today, right before a big day of the draft, and really let her have her day, because she's earned this.
Well, thank you very much for sitting down with me. Good luck tomorrow, and I hope those minutes between 1 and 2 aren't too stressful for you.